Her message arrived at 5:11 p.m. A single line. Cold. Sanitized. Family dinner at 6 p.m. Important discussion. I stared at it without blinking, feeling the room narrow around me. Funny how she suddenly remembered the concept of family. 12 hours earlier, my birthday passed quietly. Quiet even for me, a man who has long outgrown the need for candles or forced smiles. Still, I'd expected her presence. Expected at least the illusion of care. Instead, I spent the night alone, reading an article about myself that she didn't know existed. The $780 million valuation of my hotel chain had hit every financial outlet by midnight. She hadn't called. She hadn't texted. She hadn't walked through the door with some flimsy apology in her eyes. No, she'd been tagged, publicly, smiling under the expensive glow of my brother's lantern-strung patio. A barbecue party. Cheap beer and expensive glasses. My older brother's hand on her shoulder in a way I had ignored one too many times. And now this text, as if she were summoning an employee. Important discussion. I locked my phone, the reflection of my own eyes staring back at me. Calm, flat, unreadable. Something had shifted, not out there, inside me. A coldness with the patience of a blade. I walked into the house 2 minutes before 6. I like precision. It unsettles people who thrive on chaos. She was at the dining table, tapping her nails, an exasperated rhythm. She didn't look up immediately. That told me everything. Guilt has a posture. When she finally glanced up, her smile was too sweet, too rehearsed. "Hey," she said softly. "Rough day?" I didn't answer. Silence unnerves the guilty. I watched her fidget, straighten a napkin, clear her throat. "It was good that your brother invited us yesterday," she said. "We talked about some things. Business things." Business. That word scraped across my patience. She had always admired my brother. His money, his charm, his ease at lying while making it sound like sincerity. They bonded over things I didn't say, things I didn't flaunt, things I didn't need to prove. But last night, she chose him over me. On my birthday. I held her gaze. She looked away first. Then she said something small, too small, but sharp enough to pierce the quiet. "You should have come." The words landed like a confession wrapped in dismissal, as if my absence had been the problem, as if the betrayal had been mine. A strange calm washed over me. A realization. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't conflicted. She was annoyed that I didn't play my part. That was when the suspicion formed. Quiet, coiled, something deeper than neglect, something intentional, something planned. I took my seat quietly and said nothing. Over the next week, I observed her with surgical detachment. Her phone brightness lowered, her showers longer, her questions about my schedule strangely specific. But I didn't accuse her. Accusations reveal your hand. I preferred to watch. I checked her location history. Scrubbed clean. I checked the guest Wi-Fi logs from my brother's house. Her phone had connected on nights she claimed she was out with coworkers. Patterns. Small, brittle lies, stacking on top of each other. I stayed calm. I stayed predictable. I kissed her cheek in the mornings, listened to her stories, watched her eyes flicker with the relief of someone who thinks they got away with it. She didn't notice the quiet vengeance tightening behind my ribs. 2 days later, I requested access logs from the hotel our company owned near my brother's law firm. Her name appeared twice, registered under M. Stone, my brother's initials. Coincidence? No. She never believed in coincidence when it came to money or opportunity. She would never leave something like that to chance. Then came the call, from a staff member I trusted, a woman still loyal. "Mr. Hale, I don't want to get involved, but I think you should see this. Security footage. No sound, just visuals. My wife, my brother, a hallway. Too close, too familiar, too comfortable. I didn't feel my heart break. I felt it freeze. Not pain, is too emotional. Clarity is efficient. The final confirmation came in a small envelope. Hotel access card records paired with time-stamped photos. I held the envelope during our next family dinner. She cooked salmon, over-seasoned, nervous hands always over salt. Halfway through the meal, I set the envelope on the table between us. She paused mid-bite. "What's that?" I didn't answer. I just slid it toward her. She opened it. Photos spilled out. Her face drained color so fast I almost heard it. She stared at the images, breathing shallow, her hand shaking a fraction, just enough for me to see, not enough for her to admit.
I can explain, she whispered. I cut her off with silence. Her lips trembled. It wasn't. Your brother said. He told me. I let her drown in half sentences. Then I said quietly, I know, and watched her break. She reached for my hand. I moved it away calmly. The gesture so small, it hurt her more than a slap ever could. Please, she whispered, don't walk away. We can fix this. I made a mistake. Mistake. The word offended the intelligence of both of us. I leaned back, studying her with the detached curiosity of a man reading the final page of a predictable book. You didn't make a mistake, I said softly. You made a choice. She flinched. I continued, and I made one too. I placed my phone on the table, screen facing up. A financial news article open, glowing with the headline, Hale Hotels valued at $780 million. Founder rejects acquisition offer. Her breath caught. Understanding dawned. Too late. I stood, smoothing my jacket. I wanted to see what you would choose before the world knew, I said, and you answered clearly. Her eyes widened with panic. Please, don't leave. Don't let this be the end. But it already was. I looked at her one last time, not with anger, not with hatred, with indifference, the cruelest truth there is. I stepped outside into the cold evening air. My lungs felt clean, my steps light. Behind me, the house stayed silent, heavy with the truth she had tried so hard to decorate with lies. I didn't feel triumphant. Revenge isn't joy. It's clarity, purification. I walked to my car, opened the door, and paused only long enough to let the final truth settle. Some betrayals hurt, others reveal, and some, like hers, set you free. I drove away without looking back, because the thing about a burned bridge is simple. I don't rebuild what someone else decided to burn.